If you clicked on this video, you're in for a good time because this is the first time we're actually recording a live process of how we actually build a viral UGC strategy in our team at Bluetooth Media. We work with consumer apps all over the globe, from the biggest apps in the world to, people who are just starting, independent developers, VC-backed startups, early stage. So today we're actually going to be breaking down how we build this live brief. We're going to be doing it for an app called Partner Pig. It's from Luna Bitar. We did a giveaway on Twitter to build one of these strategies for free for one of our followers, but I am now going to be looking through the app. So I'm just opening it on the App Store. So it says, stay close with your partner, send treats and play games, win games to feed your pigs, fun and easy way to stay connected. So this is a couple game. I've seen a couple go viral in the past year, in the past few months. So there's definitely a lot of potential here. I actually installed it. So let me just open it. So it says get started. Looks pretty straightforward from an app perspective. I think the really big thing that's going to make this hit or miss is going to be really the content strategy, how we're going to distribute this across social media, which is where we come in. Without further ado, let's get into it. So this is going to be as raw as it gets. I have no work done ahead of time for this. You're going to see the whole process end to end. This is the actual post I was talking about. So we posted, I'm building a UGC strategy for someone here, completely free. Just comment your app with a brief description. We'll DM the winner. 2025 is a great year and we want to give back. This is worth at least 10K in months of trial and error. The reason why is because obviously we know what's working, what's not. We know the process to kind of build a viral UGC strategy. We would then post a video of the live process, which is what we're recording now. And this is Luna. So here's her app. She commented on our post. Partner Pig, keep daily check-ins with your partner exciting. Feed your shared pig by sending quizzes, drawings, and messages to watch your pig grow daily. So I guess a lot of the value proposition here is like for couples who are long distance that are trying to, keep the spark of the relationship, or even just couples who find just the day-to-day texting kind of annoying. So this is a way to kind of have that be a bit more engaging. So Partner Pig, stay connected, cutest app for couples. These are some of the screens like we showed before. And I just went ahead and copied this to our doc. So we have here kind of a master doc with some of the core questions I asked Luna. The first one is competitor list. So, couple joy, relationship app. It will be looking through all these. Lovely couples, love note, love 8, candle couples and relationship, evergreen, relationship growth. Okay, cool. Then main pain points the app solves and how. These are the big ones. So competitors is great, but obviously if we just rely on what competitors are doing, you'll ultimately always be following the new thing and you'll be relying on someone else to kind of direct your strategy. So we want to focus here. What are the pain points? And we'll need to go a lot deeper here. So daily messaging between partners gets boring and loses intention. Okay. Solution. Partner Pig turns communication to a playful daily ritual. Okay, cool. Guidelines, nothing. A target demo. Couples 14 to 30, US, high school, college students, young professionals in the industry. Okay. And some current TikTok accounts, which we'll also look through, but not much progress here from what I've seen. What I'll want to do, kind of the first thing, is I'll want to kind of figure out better ways to position this value proposition and to kind of pinpoint a few moments of real pain of these users, so we can then go ahead and have ideas for keywords. We'll search around TikTok and get some examples and then use some tools to help with this whole process. We'll also pasted here just, the description of the app from the App Store and the features. And then, pasted again the main pain points and target demo. Reason why is we're going to be using a prompt now to help us kind of pinpoint those moments. The first one is a bit more having the AI or whatever give us almost storyboards of what the content would look like, what the visual hook would be, text hook would be. That's not really what we're looking for now. I'm just keeping this here because if you want to use it, you can for sure use it. But for us, what we want to be using is this. So this is the prompt we're going to be using, and it's essentially going to give us the core emotion and the trigger moments and kind of narrative angles we can explore based on who we want to target, based on the description of the app. So we want to copy this description. Okay, so now I just pasted everything here that we need. I'm actually also going to paste here the core features description. So we're just going to go to our other page and paste it here to give more context to the AI. So let's take this now. Let's see what we get from ChatGPT and Claude. So we're going to be testing both and seeing what we get. This is great. Like shame and self-blame. Oof, this is cool. Okay, I have an idea already. This is cool. This is FOMO. Essentially, you see other couples on TikTok or on social media killing it, and you wonder if you're a bad partner or if you just don't know how to keep things exciting. There's also, this relationship decay fear. This is like, and I was reading it on GPT, this shame and self-blame. Like, yeah, we don't really talk anymore, and like, kind of the self-blame thing. You can also reframe this as like, a good hook would be like, imagine if you lost the love of your life because you were unwilling to put effort into texting. Stuff around this, I think, would touch on the self-blame kind of angle, would be great. That's one thing we want to lean into, is like, people don't remember emotions. People remember moments that provoke emotion. So we need to pinpoint what the moment is in which they feel this blame. Like the thing about, your boyfriend sent you, we don't really talk anymore. You start thinking that you're going to lose love of your life and you don't really know, whatever. So you start painting a picture, start painting the story. It can be done with slideshows, talking head reaction. We now just need to kind of put together what formats would look like. But that's the one I like the most. Everything here is pretty much guilt. So it's like, okay, guilt seems to be a big one. I agree. Why would someone download something like this? It's not like, oh, let's make our relationship better. I mean, it might be for 1% of cases, but it's mostly out of fear. It's like people are fearful they will lose the relationship they have because things are getting repetitive, boring, day by day, and they don't know how to kind of improve that. I think that's the big one. But now let's look into creator search insights for a bit more insight on what's performing here, and also start looking through some of the tools we use. Unfortunately, we can't use our internal tool in this video, but we'll use some other tools in the market to kind of find formats that could be high performing here. So I am now on creator search insights. First of all, let me see on the trending if there's anything related to dating, long distance relationship, from anything on the kind of couples side of things. I don't think there's anything on trending. Let's see on the saved one. Let's see on this couples things what's happening. Okay. Yeah, these are mostly skits. There's definitely the potential to kind of use this type of thing on the content for Partner Pig. I do think it's a bit of a more advanced kind of content style, because this would require like a creator doing skits that would then plug the app later on, right? Doing a skit, for example, of like, things that they do together, like, a viral trend or whatever. And then in the middle of the video, having one of the activities be them communicating through the app. I don't think it'd be super relevant. I think there's potential, but I don't think that's a priority at all. So let's go back to what we were doing before. Okay, this is starting to become interesting, because although creator search insights didn't have too much, I do think there's a lot here to work with that can be super valuable. So in the meantime, we've gone to build a bit of a viral bank just based on the competitors Luna provided, because you can already see what's working. And I mean, if you're low on budget, you don't want to be risking with unproven formats. So started here, kind of outlined a few accounts, and we have a bit of a breakdown with the viral product demo, face reaction, and slideshows. The ones I think would be the best here to start with would be face reaction. I'll go into why in a minute, but essentially face reaction and then slideshows. I think these two would be the best for this. Again, I'll go into why in a minute. And now what I want to do is essentially, I want to basically nail down what the narratives would be from the work we've done just from GPT and Claude, and kind of really, really nail down what we can do here. What we're going to do is we're going to write it down, kind of free flowing with it. And then we're going to pair it with potential hooks and how it would look in different formats. First of all, looking through these GPT angles. So this is good. I want this on the content matrix as one of our narratives. This one's also good. And this can be one of those, if this video landed on your For You page kind of hook, or like this is your sign to whatever type of hook. With this type of content, it's going to be framing the video as like this kind of saving your relationship before it's too late. So that's going to be the hook that I'm thinking about for this. We'll go into examples here. There's a lot in the kind of Bible niche with like, this is your sign, or if this video found you, this is your sign to start listening to God or coming closer to religion, right? There's a lot of those. There's a lot of, the girlies kind of posting on TikTok as well about, this is your sign to start whatever. And I think here, another narrative we can look into is like a story time, my last relationship, blah, blah, blah. And it would be essentially how the creator's last relationship died because of this. They were, kind of slowly becoming roommates. This is what I'm thinking, just raw, without looking at videos. I've seen so many viral videos at this point because I just want to have a bit of an unbiased opinion here instead of going straight ahead looking into what other people are doing. One thing we always do for viral banks is we try to find TikTok shop creators who can kind of reuse their format into what we're trying to do for an app. A TikTok shop creator, first of all, they need to be relevant. They cannot just not be relevant because their payday, their affiliates, their payday depends on them doing up-to-date stuff that works. So they need to know how to go viral with up-to-date stuff. And two, it needs to convert naturally. That I think is going to be one of the biggest challenges for PartnerPig. I think we might be able to find some good videos on the TikTok shop front with this kind of thing. This is your sign too. Again, this can be a story time. This can be a slideshow, like 4 signs you are in a toxic relationship. And the reason I say toxic and not happy is because negative hooks always overperform. People are just drawn into drama. This pulls you in way more than 4 signs you're in a happy relationship or a healthy relationship. Anyway, it's just idea. I like this. Dumb pig game accidentally fixed it. We need to go into how to CTA also, because that's going to affect a lot of the revenue that comes in from TikTok. So just putting here a reminder on how to CTA. Now, just going into this for a minute. Viral Bank, we essentially searched for the accounts of some of the competitor apps that Luna provided. So these are more face reaction. This is like for long distance couples. So you have here, this is in Spanish, but yeah, essentially going in, then demoing what it is, right? But this is essentially just hook or face reaction straight into demo. And then there's slides going viral here as well. So ideas for whatever, couples, long distance. This is perfect. Like one of the ideas is using the app. I'm going to put it here as content matrix. I'm going to put slides. Essentially, one of the slides says using a couples for XYZ. Then you put in brackets, I use PartnerPig. This one I think could work already, and we can do this at scale already with tools like, for example, Real Farm. So this one's already exciting. But yeah, essentially, we looked through a lot of these. There's more. So this one is another face reaction account. You can filter here by popular again. This is basically face. You convinced your partner to use a long distance app. And the thing here is that this is a bit of a viral demo as well. So we got to be careful with things that go viral because of the product. We want to use examples that go viral with things we can replicate always. So I'm just going to put here, careful, viral element is app demo. Then yeah, we include here some of those widgets like Lovely and Lovers. I think Lovely is from Jack. He's been doing great on TikTok and Instagram, but it's definitely a viral demo. Everything's about the demo. So if you just sort by popular, it's all demoing the product. So the colors are appealing. It has a promise of a reward. So waiting until the end to see what happens and to see kind of both phones. They have a delay, so it's perfect for people to stick to the end. I wouldn't use these as examples. So I'm just going to put these in red, so you know. And then there's others. These have like mixed styles. I think it's Candle. So there's like long text overlay. This app isn't doing that well. Go too deep here, but yeah, still worth looking at. Maybe, you sometimes find some gem creators that are good at recreating some of these styles. Anyway, I would go definitely heavy on slides and talking head for PartnerPig, in my opinion. Face reaction, I think, can work really well. The thing is, we want to be able to tell a story. And I am thinking that for this app specifically, I don't see a demo being the core thing of the app. So hooking people with a face reaction to then lose them on the demo wouldn't be ideal. However, if we do want to do it, the only thing we need is really the hook to be clean, right? So we just need this part. So the creator needs to do the reaction, then the hook is the most important part. So the text hook here. And then going into the demo is very straightforward. So it's just using the app and putting the best screen of the app as the demo. If you do want to do face reaction, that's all good. The only thing that needs to be nailed are the hooks. My personal opinion is that I would just put all my resources into doing slides at scale and talking heads. Talking heads, I think, are going to be big here. So again, going back to our content matrix, I think these are cool. What I'm going to do now is I'm essentially going to take our list of best performing hooks. We have 34 here. These have done hundreds of millions of views in the past few months or few weeks even. So I'm just going to upload this into GPT as well as a list of other hooks we have. This is actually from another asset we got from X, which is really cool. So we're just going to upload these first and then these as well, some others we have with the kind of context from GPT and Claude to AI and see what we get as far as hooks go. And then we're going to start pairing those with some narratives and formats and then pull in the examples. Yeah, before going into that, I just want to confirm. Yeah, just want to confirm what Luna is already doing. Because I had an idea. So nothing much. This account's pretty much shadow banned. I think she's trying to post the same videos on two different accounts. So yeah, that's why it's shadow banned. Let me see here. Too much text. Yeah, hook is not shocking enough, in my opinion. But it's already good. You give value. It gives all the value up front. So tough to get people to stay for long. This just doesn't look believable. Everyone kind of, the regular scroller, brain rotter on TikTok knows this is a Pinterest picture, so they'll never stick around. This is not it. There's going to be a high kind of barrier, in my opinion. Let's see, this is good. This is believable. Okay, and this just needs to be more dramatic. Okay, this is already good, a good start. I think slides are going to be a big thing here for sure. What is this? Yeah, this is more to kind of, to get people to share and stuff. Okay, all good. I think there was a skit somewhere.
You know what? Let's communicate in a cute way. You don't pay attention. I'm a big. What did he say? What did he say? Okay, let's see. Okay, I'm gonna off context. I'm gonna off context.
This has a lot of potential, this type of skit. But first of all, we need to get rid of any edits in this text. It needs to be just simple, right? In this text hook. Second of all, it should start by introducing the thing instead of going straight into the kind of skit. So it should start with the text hook should be on top and it should start with a recording of your face or the creator's face saying, my mom is texting her 60-year-old boyfriend with a couples app, and then changing the screen and going into it. It's a good hook and it kind of brings in then the skit. Okay, anyway, this is all good. Let me see.
Why my 50-year-old mom has an easier time communicating to her boyfriend than I do.
Way too long to understand what's happening. So we're 4 seconds in.
Guys, tell me why my 50.
It's way too close and kind of messy. This first screen needs to be cleaner, so it needs to have more space. The camera needs to be a bit more away from the face. Okay, this is just some quick feedback on the current content. Let's get back into it. So now I'm going to generate a few hooks and get back to this. So we've now gathered our hooks. We went on, used ChatGPT and AI with some of our internal bank of hooks to create examples. Just a disclaimer, in any brief, these hooks are generated by AI. So these are only for, idea generation, for examples. Don't use as is, always spin it up based on whatever example you're following. You should always be following an example when you're creating content in a given style. So yeah, we created these hooks. We also kind of reorganized here our document, content matrix. We changed it to niche virals, and I'll explain why in a minute. And I also included our actual hook templates here for the team at PartnerPig. Now, for controversial hooks, we have a lot. We have like after 11 failed relationships, here's what I've learned actually matters. This would be like a slideshow format or a talking head. I've been divorced twice. Here's what I'm doing differently in marriage 3. These are obviously controversial. You can see the examples here. There are tons of these accounts. These are selling affiliate products. So these work, right? This is from 2024. There's more up-to-date accounts where it's like really just slides, and you can do them so easily now. But yeah, they're a bit saturated. The thing is, the hook, the concept works really well. So it's using someone else as kind of a social authority or the authority in your post, right? And kind of saying, hey, authority, and people still doubt when he says this about whatever subject it is that you're touching on. So here it would actually be my dad or my someone is a divorce lawyer or is a marriage counselor, is the highest paid marriage counselor in the US, and yada, yada, yada. Right? So that can also be the example of a hook, but the example styles are here. And then there's 2 others that are from, again, affiliates do this very well. So basically, they're always cutting some sort of.
Believes him whenever he tells them these things. My dad is one of the highest paid nutritionists, yet no one believes him whenever he tells them these things.
Okay, so this is the only important part, it's like the actual hook, right? And then she goes on to basically list out things that are important, and obviously she plugs in a product. There's another example on this here as well. That's the main thing here with any of these hooks, not only the controversial ones, but also the other ones. These are the TikTok shop examples we're looking for. We'll see if we find more, but yeah, There's a bunch of these. There's warning sign hooks, which basically provoke fear, right? Signs your relationship is dying. Here are 4 signs you're in a toxic relationship. Here are 10 ways to save your whatever dying relationship. Listicle hooks, ranking every save your relationship advice by what works as a happily married mother of 7. Right? So obviously this is also a bit controversial. 5 things I wish I knew before losing my soulmate. There's a great example here. Oh, okay. Apparently we can't see it. This is a great example. It's basically a talking head story time with someone, the creator is crying and is saying, hey, you know, I lost the love of my life. And if you are with someone right now that you want to marry, please listen to this. And this is like, you know, she goes on to mention a few things. And obviously here, it'd be very easy to plug in a product. The only thing with all these hooks, there's a guide I included with how to CTA, right? On the architecture of organic conversion, right? But just based on what we do. And what you want to do with any of these hooks is you want to make sure that when you introduce the product, one, it makes sense with the story, and two, you're not introducing the product. You're introducing something that the product achieves, right? So for instance, you would say, hey, you know, if you want to say whatever, if you want to save your dying relationship, you need to stay emotionally connected even when you're far away or even if you're living together. So that's the thing the product achieves. After to introduce the product, say something like, there are tons of ways to do this. People recommend spending moments together, having shared experiences. A great way to do that in your day-to-day is with some sort of shared activity. I like to use this app, and then you plug in the product, right? So you're not plugging in, hey, this is the solution like most creators do, which is horse shit. You really want to make it sound organic by introducing the thing the product solves and then saying, hey, by the way, I use this thing, right? That's a way of doing it. And there's kind of a guide here on how to do it. So yeah, we filled in our hooks. We essentially, again, just very simply used GPT and Claude with the angles we had before and using some of our actual hook templates we have, which I also pasted here for the team at PartnerPick to be able to see from some of our best performing content pieces to get some ideas. And then I tweaked a bit with like, you know, controversial hooks, warning sign, listicle, story time, etc. Now, the cool thing here is also on top of the viral bank, I include here niche virals, right? So you have narratives and formats where one, you have this kind of online relationships aren't real is essentially the message we want to convey with this thing. So I include some storytime talking head examples. Romance, because now everyone thinks they can do. So this one's a great example, and there's this one.
Mine are not real.
Essentially saying, you know, online relationships are fake. And what you want to do with this kind of narrative is you want to say, hey, you know, online relationships are fake. Normal relationships actually feel boring on the day to day. Your relationship will actually die if you keep having these online couples as your goal or as your standard, because what you actually need is this thing, and this thing. And to achieve whatever solution, to achieve emotional connection on day to day, I like to use this thing, right? So you kind of shift the narrative into what a normal relationship actually looks like, what's needed for those relationships to survive, because it's all the same fear, right? And then you plug in the product. Then, yeah, here I did this video. Okay. I don't care how long. Saying dating apps are not the move. Again, I include this video because I do think it can be redone with different narrative, but essentially the same hook. I included this example. Like, I don't care how single I feel, dating apps are not the move. You can redo this with a different narrative, but essentially kind of same setting. So in the car, talking head from bottom up in terms of the angle, and the narrative being something like, I don't care if I need to do corny shit. I won't let my relationship die. I won't let my girlfriend feel whatever. I won't let my boyfriend feel bored. Whatever it is, right? So you can change the narrative. It can also be done with the same kind of narrative there, just changing a bit of the framing. Something like, I don't care how corny it sounds. I will use a couples app if I need to keep my relationship alive. And then you go into it, right? So this is more like experimental one. I'm gonna put it in italic, put like idea behind it, so you know. Then yeah, slides. So the thing with slides in any of these examples that you can take any of these talking heads and turn them into slides, right? So for instance, you'd come here, you said the relationships that you see on social media are fake. And the first slide would have to be something kind of guilt tripping the viewer, something like 5 signs social media standards have fried your brain, whatever. And then you go into how relationships are fake. And then again, you need to shift the narrative on what normal actually looks like. So it's all kind of steps of value and narrative that you're putting out before introducing the product. This is your sign to. This is the biggest one. This is great. So coming here, this is one example. This is the sign for you. Slide. Well, it's not going to sound like what you want to hear, but you need to listen to it. You left them at their worst. You left them at their lowest point. Okay. So this is kind of, again, it's not to use the same thing, but you can use this kind of style to plug in the couples app, because the main thing they're doing there to increase watch time is this is a sign for you. Slide, and you slide and say, it's not going to sound, so they're foreshadowing what they're going to say. This is not going to sound like what you want to hear. And then you, boom, blank one. And then you drop the uncomfortable truth. And the uncomfortable truth can be anything that your ICP is afraid of. Like we established before, something like they're fearful of their relationship decaying, right? So you have become lazy as a partner. Your partner deserves better than what you currently are, right? So you just insert whatever fear they have and then you plug in the solution. This one's great. He says, I think, do you have 20 seconds to listen to God? And you can say, do you have 20 seconds to save your relationship? The main thing is if you're copying, you need to copy the things that work and make it better. So starts with phone on the ground, faces off cam. So he comes down and says, do you have 20 seconds for God? Whoever's recording this needs to actually want to help people improve their relationship if you're doing this angle. And this sound is very good. So it needs to be a sound like this that's going to be kind of wholesome. It's going to be kind of provoke that emotion of like hope and faith in, you know, whatever you're pitching. Anyway, yeah, how to keep your long distance relationship alive. There's a lot of these that I pasted from the scroll I was doing earlier. So yeah, what I want to do now is I want to kind of see if I find any more kind of viral outliers from a few other tools. And after that, we're just going to fill in the blanks and deliver this. Okay, so we did a final review of the app just to make sure that we were on track. We did a final, you know, scrolling session and checking all the kind of softwares you use. And yeah, I think we landed somewhere very nice. So here we have a section about, you know, the kind of internal with the core questions, the app's description, and the prompts we used initially, and then the answers we got from both GPT and Claude. Then we have here the kind of examples. Again, they're just examples, kind of get the juices flowing. And then we have here an asset, which is our Pluto's hooks with the template of, you know, videos that have been mega viral with hundreds of millions of views. We reorganized this viral bank to be first competitor accounts, then with narratives, right? With what each should kind of achieve, with then the angles. This one's the biggest one for sure, like the fear or reality of being in a dead or boring relationship, right? No one wants to lose their partner. And if they do, that's also within fear. They're fearful of, you know, whatever, ending their relationship. So this is cool. And then other examples, the biggest one by far being TikTok shop inspiration is going to be the big one, the one that's going to provide the most value if followed, in my opinion. Pretty sure this might work. Good creators here. Then yeah, one for true love, questions for your partner, and then evergreen couple content. This is great. I think then the main question is not going to be, you know, whether the brief works or not. It's going to be how do we structure a UGC campaign here. My personal opinion is we get some sort of AI like Real Farm, or we get a team of 2 to 3 creators to do mass slideshows, right? To do a lot of high quality slideshow accounts. Obviously, you know, each deploying volume with one of these angles, posting twice a day, all content repurposed to Snapchat, YouTube Shorts, and Instagram Reels. And this also goes to Talking Head, but with Talking Head, I'd focus more on actually having Luna do it as the founder. I think there's another co-founder who can also do this, because these are typically more expensive as creators, but I do think it's worth it if you guys have the budget to kind of go for it. I think, yeah, Talking Head, it's always worth to get killer creators there. If not, you can kind of spin it off as the founder. It comes off with very genuine energy. And slides, I mean, you can also do it yourself. You'll need different phones and setting up accounts and all that, but it's much better if you just hire creators to do that. This is pretty complete. Then we added some guides. So we added the first guide on how to CTA. So you know, there's a lot of work done on hooks and on kind of you know, narratives, so you understand how to take those kind of initial concepts and hooks and kind of piece them together with a narrative or with a story and then a CTA. There's a guide for slideshows, because, you know, I foresee that slideshows are going to be huge here. So just a, you know, quick guide, and then also quick guide on Talking Head with, story frameworks and kind of, best practices and templates that can be used. So yeah, I mean, I think this is pretty complete. I'm proud of what we achieved here. I think there's going to be a lot of value that comes out of this, and I'm excited to see what's done with this kind of brief. Appreciate you watching if you're still here. If you want us to kind of build this for you, build a full campaign, hire creators, do the whole thing end to end and go viral, hopefully, just click the link on the bio to get our free ebook or to book a call with my team. Yeah, guys, appreciate you watching. This was very fun, and see you next time.